All right, hey, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to import images into Illustrator from drawing paper. So I've created a quick drawing of the word tube written in tube lettering. So the way I'm going to get this into Illustrator is by opening Photobooth, which I already have open. If you want to open it or any other program, you're going to hold Command and press spacebar, and then type Photobooth, and then hit enter. All right, so once you have it open, you're going to just place the image in front of the camera, and you're going to press the red button. Okay, and it will automatically reverse the photo when you drag it onto the desktop. So I'm going to hide Illustrator, if it'll let me. Okay, so I'm going to drag this image that I just took onto the desktop. I can go ahead and quit Photobooth, and then I'm going to create a new file. And since my paper was landscape or wide, I'm going to choose a wide or landscape orientation over here. If you don't have this recent menu, you can go to, usually web will do it. Web's usually automatically wide. Go ahead and click create. And then to get it on to the canvas, there's a couple different ways. But one way is to click the File menu and go to Place. And then you're going to find the image on your desktop. So let's see. Mine's right here. And you just click where you want it to be placed. So I'm going to click there. I'm going to scale this. So hold Shift and drag the corner. And I'm going to go ahead and lock this layer. So you want to have the layers palette open, which is right here. If you don't see it here, you're going to go to Window, Layers, open that. I'm going to lock this, and then now I'm going to create a new layer, and I can begin creating my vector art. So I'm using the pen tool. The hotkey for that is P. And then I'm just going to click, and then I can click and drag. And then I'm going to go to the next one. Click and drag. And you'll notice it's not perfectly on, so I have to go back and make some corrections. Also, you'll notice that I've got a fill color, which is making it hard to see. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to hold Command and click that eyeball, and that's going to allow me to see beneath what I'm doing. And I can actually, by holding the Command key, go in and modify my points while I'm still drawing, which is really nice. So I'm going to click and drag. Then this one, see, I want it to abruptly change direction, but right now it's not letting me because I've got this handle here. So I'm going to hold Option and click on that, and that gets rid of this handle here. And so now I can click and drag like that. Click, and then click and drag. Click and drag, and then again I'm going to have an abrupt direction change, so I'm going to hold Option and click, and then I'm going to click the final point and hold down and drag. So now that I have this drawn, I can actually go back and add additional points. So you notice when I put my mouse over this, there's a little plus that shows up. So I can click that plus, and now I can hold the Command key and I can drag that to match my artwork. The other thing is, sometimes maybe the vector shape turns out better than the actual hand-drawn version, so we don't have to always precisely match the hand-drawn version. We can modify things just a little bit. But that's the first piece there. And so I'm going to hold Command and click there. And I can also turn off my drawing layer. And so now you can see I've got the first shape. I can go in there and I can make the border a bit thicker. So I'm going to select this object right here, the stroke, increase that, and I can go in and I'm switching to the other arrow tool, the A, and I'm just moving these points around. Just to clean up some of the line work. And it might turn out that, see, it's kind of like kinked right there, and I want it to be a little bit smoother. So I can switch back to the pen tool by pressing P, and I can hold the Option key, and sometimes it can be a bit tricky. P, click and drag, and I get my handles back, and I can create a nice curve there. So I'm just going to adjust this again. And you're probably going to find it takes a lot of finessing. Oops. Yeah. So I could go through and do all of those, but that's the basic process. Now I might just do one more so you can see what it looks like to have layered objects. So you notice it kind of goes down and overlaps itself. So I'm just going to draw, I'm going to hold Command here, I'm going to draw the rest of this segment. So I'm actually going to kind of overlap just a little bit, because one thing you'll need to do is work with the stacking order of these. So just like paper cutouts, you can lay papers on top of each other in different orders. It works the same way with these. So you might want one vector shape on top of another one. And in this case, we want this bottom part of the tube to be underneath this first loop. So this top part, I don't really care how it looks because it's going to be hidden. So I'm going to hold Command and click here again. And since I drew this after, it's going to be on top, but I actually want it to be underneath. So the way you change the order in Illustrator is you select the object and you hold Command, and then you press the left or right bracket keys, which are just to the right of the P key on the keyboard. So I'm going to hold Command and press the left bracket key, and that puts it underneath. So now you can begin to see I'm creating a vector version of this penciling. And let's say I just want to change the color of this. I'm just going to click this. Maybe I want it to be like maybe blue. Whoops. Let's try that again. Here we go. All right. And then just to take it one step further, let's say I want to have just like a little bit of reflection. It's not really shown in the pencil drawing, but let's say I want like a little highlight here and a little highlight here. The way I would do that is I want to actually just use no fill and a white stroke. So I'm going to click there. I'm just going to click here. And then here, and then I'm just going to press escape because I want it just to end there. And I want the edges not to be so sharp like that. So the way I can affect that is I can press V to switch to the arrow tool, click on this, and click here where it says stroke. And for the cap, I want this rounded version. So now you can see I've got just a little bit of reflection here, and I can even move that. And let's say I want it to be a bit bigger. Okay, so I've got that. So if you want to create your next stroke with the same style as the last one, just click on whichever one you want to adopt the style from, and then press P, switch over to the pen tool, and then start your next one. So pressing escape again, and then I'm going to click this. And maybe I just want a little bit of shadow here. So I'm going to select this, and then I clicked off of it. So anytime you want to switch to the arrow tool, you can hold Command. So if you're in the brush or the type or the pen or any tool and you want to switch to the arrow, just hold Command and it temporarily switches. So this time I want no stroke, and for the fill, I just want it to be black. And I'm just going to click here, then click here, hold Option, click here, click Option, and then click there. So I added a little bit of a shadow. So there's a lot of different styles you can go with. You can do something like more photoreal with more gradients, or you can do something kind of cartoony like I'm doing. It's totally up to you, but this is just the general process of making something vector. Okay.